This is it's Wednesday, December 10th, and somebody reached out and they were wondering if there was a way for them to create um, either digital or printed guest books on the fly. And so I was pretty sure that that was possible. And so I started a quick prompt here and started building this out and thought that this might be sort of a neat thing to share and explain how quickly somebody can spin up something like this for their own purposes. So if you're an Airbnb host, if you're a short-term rental service provider, property manager, somebody that's running some sort of operation, this is something that you could do pretty quickly. And we'll go ahead and put this this version of this inside of our school Code to Close, so that you would have access to that. I'll put the link for the school somewhere as well. Anyway, this particular build we're calling Guestbook AI, and basically what we're trying to do is take information that you already have about your listing, such as the title, the location, the property description, and some photos, and turn that into a guidebook. Now, look, I know there are services everywhere that provide this service. Some are free, some are part of property management software service that you might already be paying for. So this particular tool is not for anybody, but for the person that's just starting their Airbnb and is at the point in their entrepreneurial path that they're trying to elevate their property, this might be a tool that they could use. So this is Guestbook AI, and this was a few prompts. I'm a few prompts in here, as you can see, but basically, I'm quite a few prompts in. So I'm a little behind on the recording and a little ahead on the build. But basically, what I want this to do is take that information that we already have and then produce a guidebook. So we're gonna use the property that I have in Rincon, Puerto Rico, as our example, and then I think I should have. Yeah, I still have the listing. One of the listings. We have 4 units, so this is just one of the listings. I pulled it right from Airbnb, cut and paste. And so I'm hoping that on the back end, using some AI, we're able to add some of our own photos, and then have the AI generate some lifestyle type photos to add to the document, to the book. So we'll put this one in Rincon, Puerto Rico, and we'll call this Aaron and Steve, and then we'll just make this funny. Okay. Now, right before I started recording, this was not working, so I had prompted this to get this to work, and so now it's working. And I'm just going to do these images, although this is not our treehouse. I just want it to make it look a little nicer for this thing. So right here, I have not tested these. I'm not quite sure what this does. So let's see what this does. Hopefully it look at that. Look at that. So not all of these are usable. And so I think that I would probably want to have the ability to do this again. Will it generate more? It might. Look at that. More of the same. Okay, so it'll generate more of the same. So I want to fix that right now. So I'm going to do this in natural language. Let's start there. So that took a long time, and maybe I can edit that out. I probably won't, though. So hopefully you got yourself a coffee. So maybe while this is thinking, oh, it's not going to let me. So here's what it says. So it's going to work on the art department, and it's going to, there we go. That's better. There we go. Perfect. So now it's going to include activities, dining shots, coffee, hiking. I love it. Um, Generate more. That's good. Remove images. That's what I wanted. So this thing is thinking right now. My guess is it's going to start us back in the beginning, which means I'm probably going to want to add a feature where this will save your properties, so that when you go in there, you have the autonomy, which means we'll have to hook it to a back end eventually. I might pull the code out of here right now. As you can see, I'm just in Google Gemini. But once this is at a workable state, because there are limitations about building these mini apps in here in terms of deployment, and how much back end or horsepower you can give to these things. I might pull it out and go into Google AI Studio, drop the code in, generate another build, and work on it in there. I might even do the same, drop it into Lovable, and see if we can get a similar result, better result, and then from there I can launch. So it looks like this thing is ready to go again. So hopefully this is still here. It is. So we'll go to the next step, and we're going to do ringtone, and we're going to do, and then some fun. Fun in the sun, baby. All right. Now we're going to do, let's do these images again here. This is Cabo Rojo property, but we'll do the same one just to give it some energy. I want to see what this does now. All right, so we got it a little bit, but not really. So we've got to work on this image generator. I think I'm going to try something, but before we do that, let's generate some more to see if we're getting replicates. We are. It's yeah, same thing. So I'm going to put that in as a note. This allows us to remove these, so that works. So it's still not generating exactly what we want, which means that it's pulling the data. In my assumption, if I wanted to make this work better, it needs to formulate the data about Rincon before it tries to make these images. So I think we have to add that step in there. And then maybe the model that it's using is not Nano Banana, so maybe it's not producing the best results. And I think I want to put some sort of smart in there so that it's pulling the general colors, and so that all your images inside of your book look the same. So I'll add that in a second, and then we'll go here to see what this is all looking about. Okay, so what I prompted this to do before I started recording was generate a PDF in a fashion that can be easily downloaded and then shipped to a mail house. Send it to Staples and have them print you a hardbound copy. So it looks like, all right. So the first 3 pages we could tweak the design on that. I'll make this better as we go. It's the functionality that I'm looking to complete in these first steps. So the arrival, living, culinary, rest. Okay. I mean, I see some formatting issues here, so I'm going to want to check the padding on this PDF to make sure that it's good to go. Okay, this would be fine. Once again, the padding is not great. And so it's pulling quotes, and it's so we have some work to do here. Um, and I think maybe some of this is because I asked it to create a 30-page book, and maybe I need to figure out what these pages need to do and look like. So um, I'm gonna pause this for a second, I think, and then all right. I'm hoping you can see this, but I just put a prompt in here. I'm gonna try and get some ideas on what a good guest book would look like. And so I went into Claude to do that. I could have gone anywhere, but here are some of their suggestions. Single page scrolling format. So this looks like for digital. So I need this to be for print. So we can generate a PD. Okay, so maybe it'll adjust this single page scrolling format. That's not what I want. So this is much better. Um, okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this description. Actually, it's asking me this. I might just tell it this. I'll just tell it that I'm going to where I'm building it, and then I might move it and see what the output is. So now it's it wants to give me an HTML example, and so I think that would be great. Um, Mini guest book. We'll get 8 of them. Let's see what it does. I don't want to mess it up. All right, while that's thinking, let's go see if we can get this doing something here. So we want to go back to this page, and I want to tweak this a little. So actually, I might ask for some help on that as well, which might be worth it. So while this is doing this, now when this generates and when you move this code from one place to another, it's important to understand that you're linking two things that weren't created at the same time in the same system with the same stack, and so things can break. And what I found is that I don't really like this output already. Okay, well, I like it a little better. Um, okay, so this output looks like a computer output, and as opposed to like a print output. So I'm going to tell it that. So So we'll go a little bit more towards the coffee table idea here. All right, while that's cooking, I think I'm gonna go in here and see if I can just play with this manually. My God, I'm like a squirrel with a nut here. All right. Can we make this idea come to life? Now I add that when I'm struggling a little to get something to work, because I saw a vibe coder at one point in time when Gemini 3 first came out use this, and that vibe coder worked at Google, and he used it almost every time. Like at the end of every prompt, he put, "Can you bring this idea to life?" And so I kind of made the connection there that he might know something that we don't, and there might be some secret code. I don't know if that's true or not, but let's see what we got going on. Now, while that's cooking, we'll go back over here. And okay, so this already feels better. This feels better. So I'm going to try something very scary, and it may break it, but I'm going to copy all that code. And then I'm going to go back into Gemini, and I'm going to say, okay, as you can see, I found some code to help us with the PDF output, the actual book we were trying to create. I think it still needs some work, so look at it and see how we can adapt it to our build. And so I added that piece in there so that it doesn't just implement the code, it actually looks at it, and hopefully it'll say, wait, this code doesn't quite work, let me tweak what I need to. And then maybe it'll also look back at the history and say, I understand what we're trying to accomplish here. This might be a new approach. Let me do it this way. So we'll load this up as soon as this is done. But let's see what this has got going on. Okay, so I think this is going to try and build this on the front end, right? Which sort of stinks. Which means that we're going to have to tweak it again. Let's see what it's got. Oh, this might actually work. Let's try it. And then I need to go over to my Puntas treehouse and hit copy, paste. Okay, let's see. And then link home. We'll just do this for short, and do the studio. Let's add some images from this potential project in Cabo Rojo. Okay. And then we're going to do this. Okay, look at this. That's a neat feature. Okay, so I'm okay with that. Now let's see if we get a better result. Still, same pictures.